What these scientists were telling us is that human beings have become so powerful. We are now altering the chemical, the physical, and the biological properties of the planet on a geological scale. Physically, we create dams, divert rivers, and build huge lakes. We drain entire wetlands, remove mountaintops to get at coal, build massive open pit mines, and because of our fracking practices now, we know that we are inducing earthquakes. Chemically, you know, we've passed 400 parts per million carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Because of the carbon in the atmosphere, it dissolves in the oceans, creating carbonic acid and is acidifying the oceans. Nitrogen fertilizers spread on land are washing into the seas and creating areas of eutrophication that become dead zones because all of the oxygen is depleted. Pollutants, of course, are spread throughout the air, water, and soil. Every one of you, I'm sorry, however well you're living, every one of us in this room is carrying dozens of toxic chemicals in our bodies. And with endocrine disruptors from plastics, the whole process of development and differentiation of our reproductive capacity has been interfered with. Biologically, we are driving entire ecosystems out of existence for farming, cattle ranches, roads, housing. And we are introducing alien species all over the planet. Australia knows about alien species in spades, and driving some 50,000 species to extinction every year. That's why scientists call this moment in time the Anthropocene epoch, the era when humans have become a geological force. And it has happened very, very suddenly. That's what gives the urgency now to addressing the issue. You see, for all of 150,000 years, there were never a billion human beings. We reached a population of 1 billion people. Well, if you go back at the beginning of the agricultural revolution, which is 10,000 years ago, we think there were about 20 million human beings in the world. When Jesus Christ was born, there were some 200 million. We reached 1 billion, the first mammalian species to reach 1 billion any time on Earth, about 1803. When I was born, there were just over 2 billion people on the planet. Can you imagine, in my lifetime, population has more than tripled. If you were to plot that on a graph, and I think every student ought to do that, just plot on a graph in which the x-axis is 150,000 years and the y-axis is population of humans in billions. And what you find is the curve is virtually flat for 99%, and in the last pencil width of time, it explodes straight up off the page. Every human being today has to be fed, clothed, and sheltered. And just to stay alive then, we have a very big ecological footprint. It takes a lot of air, water, and land to keep us alive. But of course, we're not like a rabbit or a rat or a mouse. We have an enormous amount of technology used on our behalf. And, you know, I look out at an audience like this and I see lots of cotton shirts and wool suits, and I'm sure, well, this is the first time I've ever had an audience where I might not be able to say this. I always say to an audience, I'm sure no one in this room has a field of cotton plants growing in your backyard or a flock of sheep, but some of you might have a flock of sheep. But the vast majority of us would have no such thing. But thanks to technology that now can exploit to the far reaches of every corner on the planet for raw materials and deliver the goods that we take for granted in our lives, our computers, our cars, our food, all of that amplifies our impact, our ecological footprint. And it doesn't end there. Ever since World War II, we've been afflicted with an incredible appetite for stuff. We love to go shopping. 95% of American teenage girls call shopping their #1 recreation. So they're having fun and getting their exercise at the same time. We love to buy stuff, and all of the stuff that we buy comes out of Mother Earth, and when we're finished with it, we throw it back into Mother Earth, and that increases enormously our ecological footprint. And this is all overlain then by a globalized economy. I believe that globalization will be, if humans are around at the end of this century, globalization will be looked upon as one of the big disasters to hit our species.